And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you all to the Hello LLC. If you don't know, Hello is here to help you pivot from 2D to 3D. And I want you all to understand this more importantly as you leave here, as you welcomed here, that we want more for you than from you at the end of the day. That's what this conversation is all about. Today, we're having an amazing conversation of don't wait, create a podcast and an audio room. Let's press the button. That's what today's room is all about because so many people are worried, are scared, are fearful. Whatever the excuse is, it's an excuse and it's definitely not execution. And today we want to talk about executing these things and you getting out of your own way more importantly. And that's what this is all about, to really be able to help you guys understand how a podcast, how a social audio room is so important to your business, to your side hustle, to your entrepreneurship, whatever you are doing. It is the new wave of you being able to connect with your audience because it's no longer hiding behind a logo, no longer hiding behind all these posts, even if you are posting, which most of you are not posting about your business. And I'm here to share with you, you don't have a business if you don't talk about your business and you don't share your business. And this also goes to the standpoint of a lot of the times we're worried about what our friends, what our family is going to say. Nobody wants to listen to me. No, I don't got nothing to talk about. Yes, your ass do. You got plenty to talk about because if I put you on the couch with a bottle of wine, a cup of water, whatever it is that you like to drink, we couldn't get you to shut up about whatever it is that we're talking about. And that, my friends, is exactly what you should be doing your podcast on. That, my friends, is exactly what you should be doing an audio room about because it's about creating a community, especially when we move forward utilizing this 3D immersive technology that if you guys aren't, in there already watching us in the Hello Plaza, I encourage you to come and check out all the things that we're doing, especially if you're utilizing Zoom. I remind you all, if you are utilizing Zoom in your business, your webinars, your master classes, your social meetups, your community service groups, then you definitely should take a look at our metaverse and how we can be able to help you transition and create a different experience for your clients and your customer. It's out with the old, it's in with the new, and it's really about you showcasing yourself and separating yourself, not competition, but giving your customers and your clients a completely different mindset of how they look at you. Just like I just had a meeting with Miss Patrina, she was able to see exactly, what we're doing and how we're able to do it to pivot people from 2D to 3D. But love, what's your take on this topic? Talk to me.
Well, welcome on in, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's great to be here with you guys. And today we're talking about the importance of your podcast and social media, social audio rooms. A lot of times, guys, I think we pass over this and the importance of it and the value that we create as entrepreneurs. And, a lot of times we have a mentality of, well, I don't want to give all my value away for free. And in reality, what happens is, that is I'm going to say it's a stingy energy, and you have to break out of that because the importance of giving something to get something, meaning the importance of giving value in order just to pique people's interest so they are curious about what you do is highly important. Guys, people can sniff through the BS. They can tell when you're bullshitting them. They can tell when you are just after them for money and you're not showing up to provide value. And we are shifting in times where it is so important that we do provide this value. And that is why the importance of having a podcast, of having these social audio rooms. I know many of you can see that we are online every week, multiple times a week, sometimes 2 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, depending on what our weekly schedule is. And that, guys, is because we believe in the value that we bring forth to share with you guys in order to pique your interest about what we are doing for our clients and how we can help our clients. It doesn't mean that you have to buy anything when you show up to listen. It doesn't mean that you have to be, pressured in. It's really, at the end of the day, we do this because we want everybody to succeed. We want everybody to win. We want everybody to be able to be on a level playing field. And as David always says, you are better at doing the president, at being a president in your business than being the janitor. How many of you feel like you're doing everything on your own? I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to, create a business plan. I got to create a business email. I got to get my systems in place. I got to get my foundation in place. I got to, start, emailing and sending out newsletters. I got it. And that's a part of a business. But when you can be able to find a dynamic team like the Hello LLC that can take some of that load from you, it is about us sharing our knowledge that we've learned over the past 8 years of being in business ourselves. But David and I have 22 years of corporate experience at the C-level executive suite. So that means that David and I have both been CEOs, CFOs, COOs. We've been, area managers, district managers. We've been it all. We know how to manage systems. We know how to manage people. We know how to do this in our sleep. This is what we do. And so we come to you guys to share this value. Today, you're going to get a load of value for nothing. All you had to do was show up in the room. That's it. Take notes, listen in, contribute your value if you would like to. Look, this is an important stage to jump up and share what you're up to, who you are, because we believe that it's not just our stage. We believe at the end of the day that everybody can get up here and share who they are, what they're doing, and drive traffic to them in the sense of sharing of who you are and what you do. It's not that, this is just David and Tara's stage, this is Hello LLC stage, and I can't participate in it. No, that value is a community outlet for all of us. And we believe that there's enough abundance in this world for all of us to win. And most importantly, guys, we don't even only help you set up your systems and your foundations and share this value. We also help people pivot into Web3 and be able to create new experiences for their clients or customers. And that's huge, because if you know where this world is going, we are at the cusp of moving from Web 2 into Web 3. A lot of it's already been transitioned to Web 3 behind the scenes, but you don't know that because it's not front facing yet. You don't get to use it. You don't see it. AI is the first one. Metaverse is the second one. Robotics is coming down the pipeline to be next. We have to understand this is where we're going, and you can't be fearful about it. You must be knowledgeable about and how to be able to position yourself so that you're not left behind. And that is the biggest thing that we run into when we are meeting with potentially new clients, is that they're going to get left behind because their unwillingness to be open-minded to what the future is going to bring. How many of you are still using a pager? How many of you are still using a typewriter? How many of you are still, mailing all of your correspondence? Mail, not email. Bingo, exactly. None of you are. It is evolution. We're now into the point of where everything is email based. Everything is, I haven't used a fax in years because it's not required. And so it's knowing that we are always evolving and understanding how to make that evolution. And so I invite each and every one of you to jump up on stage today. Come share. If you can't be on stage because you're in a listening mode only, please drop them in your questions or your value in the chat channels or in the DMs. We will absolutely make sure that we share that, because we find everybody's value everybody that shares knowledge is valuable. And last but not least, we encourage you to come experience this in our metaverse room. You can go do that by going to thehellollc.io. For those of you that have a link above you in the room that takes you there immediately, just tap that link and you will see the big event, the big button that says live events. And it is literally you push less buttons to get into our metaverse room from your phone as you do to get into LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, Twitch, whatever you're watching us on. It is less buttons to get in there and watch us and have a virtual experience and drive the golf cart around while we're talking. Yes, we have a golf cart. Yes, you can drive it around. Yes, you can run things over. It's great fun. So we encourage you guys to do that. And so with that said, Mr. Jones, let's get this party rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I love it, baby. That was awesome, especially when you shared. Are you still mailing stuff? Are you still using the fax to email? Are you still utilizing some of these things that did work that aren't working now? And especially as we talk about podcasts, that's something that we want to talk about, and share with you guys. And I want to welcome into the room Miss Nancy, Miss Margaret, Esther, David, Augusta. Welcome over here on our LinkedIn side. Miss Patrina, welcome over here on our Clubhouse side, and everybody that's joined us on all of our other channels. But you guys know what we like to do. We like to bring facts right to the conversation, because what happens a lot of the times, we allow our emotions, we allow our feelings, we allow our past, we allow our traumas, we allow our dramas to really stop us from moving forward. And when we bring a little information to it, you're going to see, oh, why would I not do this with all this information? So definitely open up the four most expensive things, which is a closed mind, a closed mouth, a closed heart, and definitely a closed hand. We got to start investing. We just can't be talking about what I want to do, how I want to do it, and then don't invest in it, and then wonder why our business doesn't work, because you're not investing in it, period. And so, podcast listeners highly engage in spending an average of 5 hours a week. Number one, your podcast does not need to be an hour. It doesn't need to be 45 minutes, 30 minutes. It could be 2 minutes. Okay. You literally can utilize AI and put in all the things that you want to about your actual podcast, and it will literally give you multiple titles, multiple ideas. It will give you what to say, how to say it, all of that. Okay. Podcast advertising revenue, which is huge, is projected to surpass $4 billion in 2024. So if you're thinking that there's no money in making a podcast, you will be absolutely wrong. And let me share with you how. This is how some of the reasons we do. Hey, you want to join on my podcast? Hey, can you go to our apparel line and, purchase some of our apparel? Hey, I got a free giveaway that you can go to, and you can go and purchase that right here. And I'll share with you guys some other things after we get finished with this, especially from our Biz in a Box side, that separates you like no other. Podcasting reaches a diverse audience across demographics. We all have to remember we're moving to a global demographic, a global economy, where you can take your podcast and translate it into different languages. Hello, right? A podcast can improve your SEO and website traffic. A lot of us forget the fact that, anything that you put out on the internet, anything that you showcase, that's part of your SEO. So if you're not doing social audio events, you're not doing, a podcast, and you're talking about, I want to improve my SEO. Well, here you go. That's one way. They offer a platform to establish thought leadership and expertise. And the great thing about it is, guess what? You don't need to be an expert. If you're a real estate agent and your ass loves the garden, start a garden podcast, because you're in your garden every day. Why not? Another thing is, a podcast does not have to be visual. You can literally, go behind your voice. And this is something that I share with you guys with the metaverse that you're looking at us now. We're able to go and have these shows Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even this weekend, starting this weekend, we're showing the football games that we encourage you guys to come and join. And you don't have to show your face. You literally get to show up in an avatar, right? You're not implementing your body into metaverse. You're literally doing exactly what you're doing now. You set up a profile, you show your picture, and boom, you're into this immersive environment that you can walk around, do all these different things, and talk to different people. And so, this is where we share with people, hey, if you don't like being on camera, AI and metaverse is something you should be flocking to immediately right now, with all the benefits, right? They offer a platform or should I say a podcast, you build trust and loyalty to your audience. Like those of you that come in here, you get to, understand who we are, what we do, how we do it, our mannerisms, how we interact with each other. And then you get to provide opportunities for long-tailed content. Most people are not looking at your content. They're, especially if it's a picture, they're definitely not reading any of the stuff that we post, right? You guys aren't reading the 5 to 6 social media posts that we're posting on all of our platforms, but you will come in here and listen, to the different people. So that's a great way for you to get your content out there. That offer an intimate connection with your audience than a traditional social media. I could post 100 posts a day. It would not change the difference of how you feel about us. But us coming in this room on Tuesday for our How To Tuesdays at 4:30 Eastern, where today we're talking about podcasts, that's attractive. That's something that's going to help you. You coming to our Wisdom Wednesdays tomorrow at 4:30, which is going to be about your emotions beyond the bottom line, the human side of entrepreneurship, which we all can experience. Come and join that conversation. That's going to be better than any social media post. Definitely come and join us for this Thursday's, special Hello Pivot at 12 o'clock. We have Elizabeth Walker. She has her own podcast, and she's going to be showing her tips and tricks where it's about, disrupting the status quo, where leaders and listeners converge. We're going to be having a great conversation on that. And if you guys definitely want to learn about a podcast in the metaverse, this Saturday, Roberta Pacino, Kiss of Fame. Yes, I said Pacino, Al Pacino's sister, right? She has her podcast that's in Metaverse that she's going to have a gentleman, Eric Skolowski. He's a major actor. I don't know if you guys know who that is. You probably, if you saw him, then you would know, just like I did. He's going to be in Metaverse on her podcast, where not only is it going to be on Spotify or on YouTube, she now invites her guests to come and talk to this person and be a part of her podcast as she rebroadcasts. And so it's definitely able to show you guys a way that we're not just up here talking about podcasts. A lot of the times when you go into these audio rooms, people are telling you what to do, how to do it, and they're not even doing it or doing it, to the extent that they're telling you, and we're actually doing it. And so I'll stop.
What time is that, David?
That's at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, which is the 17th. Kiss of Fame podcast that we'll have, and you have to come into the metaverse, right, and watch it. We really encourage you guys to come into the metaverse. And so, with that being said, I'll stop.
And you can go to robertapacino.io to find out more, and actually to enter the podcast on Saturday. So just
we'll put it in the LinkedIn post, so you guys can go straight to her amazing business box. And so, with that being said, Miss Patrina, I know you're up here on stage. We just got off an amazing phone call, things of that sort. You want to introduce yourself and share, more about, this topic, if you have time available.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good. I was kind of multitasking. I definitely enjoyed our talk about what all you have to offer. Definitely a lot of amazing packages and things you have going. I guess for every amount, whether from low tickets to high tickets. So definitely a lot of good things that I think that could help me. But you're talking about the podcast now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how you use AI with it.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on podcasts? I know we talked about some of these things. When we talked about podcasts, what were some of the things that came up for you that you shared with me about starting your podcast?
That I was going to do it many years ago when they didn't have the videos, and now that they're doing videos, I felt like I had like some limited beliefs of thinking about it. Like I don't want to do videos. I just want to do audio, and so you just kind of reminded me how we can use AI to do all that as well. So I appreciate that. And we could still do audios also. Just audio. I think it could be beneficial, but I don't always wondered how people be making money in podcasts. I'm sure they're promoting the products and services, and sometimes on other people's podcasts, getting interviewed or whatnot. And I'm sure that's some of the basic stuff. But yeah, sharing links and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the biggest thing that was a great question, right? First of all, look, guys, you all can go to your Apple phone, your Android phone right now, and go look up Anchor, Spotify. Spotify bought Anchor, and right now you don't need any gadgets and gadgets. You don't have to get an expensive microphone, any of that. Your headset that came with your phone, or go buy some headsets. You can start a podcast right now. If you signed up for LinkedIn, you signed up for Clubhouse, you got on any of these social audio apps, that is where you go. Anchor, Spotify, and I'll put that in the LinkedIn chat as well for you guys to literally go download it on your phone. Go sit your butt in the closet. Go sit your butt in the bathroom. Your first podcast, great idea, would be for you to introduce yourself and for you to introduce what the podcast is about. You do not have to have guests on every single last one of your podcasts. Tara and I have our Hello Pivot where we do have guests. We then also have our Getting Naked podcast. We ain't naked at all. That we then have to ourselves. And guess what? A great way to, because I know somebody said, well, David, I don't know nobody. I don't have a lot of people. Well, look, how about you partner with somebody that also wants to start their podcast and you guys create a podcast together? Another thing for guests, you have clients, you have customers. You should be going back to your customers and clients and saying, hey, I got a new podcast called Hello Pivot. I would love for you to be a guest on my podcast and we can have a candid conversation. You bring your friends, I bring my friends. Now we're all friends. And this can be literally on that app. You send them a link. They don't show their face. They just join you like on a phone conversation. Boom. There goes your podcast. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it is, press the button and don't be afraid to put yourself out there because we are all one conversation away from changing our lives, changing somebody else's life, and more importantly, reminiscing about that story, kind of like me and Miss Patrina did. That's a podcast in itself, Miss Patrina, with your friend. And so, that right there is where we get to make fun of this podcast. And I think a lot of the times when we do look at integrating new things, it's work, it's the time. And I'm here to tell you right now, it's not a lot of time. You're not making the time. Because I can assure you, if you go to your phone right now and you go to this thing called settings and you screen share and you get this big old chart that comes up and it's going to tell you, where you spend your time. If you're spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on all these other time, I'm here to tell you, you got time. You're being a consumer other than a creator. And all of us that are business owners or have something that we're trying to promote, an author, you got to become a creator. Stop listening and start creating, right? And start doing these things. And so, Miss Nancy, do you have anything that you want to add or ask about podcasts or social audio rooms? Let's go. Miss Nancy. Okay, she's in listening mode. Love, do you have anything you want to add on top of this before I continue the rest of this? Oh, go ahead, Miss Nancy.
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Your voice is pixelating. Yeah, you're kind of breaking up, David.
It might be our internet.
David, you're kind of pixelating, and I wondered if it was on my side, so I'm charging my phone. But he's gone. Good. He's going to reboot. Say, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is awesome because I'm tech savvy, but I'm impatient. And so I had this brainstorm that I would do a live LinkedIn on Saturday. And thank God I'm not conflicting with yours. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And it's called My Dinner with Nancy. I'm going to be in Atlanta staying in a bougie hotel. And I'm going to order room service and wine. And I'm inviting 4 guests to join me virtually around the table. And we're just going to have a salon. We're just going to discuss current events. And I've got an eclectic group who is going to join me in order to kind of feast and laugh about life. And so when David said something about pivot away from what your business is, yeah, Saturday night, I'm spying in a nice hotel resort. And so I am not going to talk about business on a Saturday night. I'm going to have laughter and just fun with my friends. We're going to take off our business hats. And I hope you all can join us, because what I said on, well, for one thing, I wish I could. I got to tell this guy, I'm going to call him back. Okay, can I call you back later? I first thought it would be a live thing, and then I would pour wine and stuff, and serve it. But the setting up the Zoom and stuff is a few more steps than I'm willing to take right now. And so, I mean, the easy way is the LinkedIn Live, but I need to know some of your tutorials. Like, do you guys provide those tutorials online of how to take it the next level?
Absolutely. Hopefully I'm coming in clearer now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joining our Pivot membership, we share with you, tips and tricks of how you can be able to do like we're doing on multiple different channels. Because that's one thing, especially for LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't allow you to record, your rooms. Zion down there is doing amazing rooms, every single week. And he definitely, if he's not already, should be capturing his amazing rooms and putting that on YouTube, having a live room on, Twitch, having the same room, same conversation on, X Spaces. And that's exactly what we're doing, that you all should be implementing as well, is to...
It sounds exhausting.
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. I'm doing the same conversation right now with you, Ms. Nancy, on 7 different platforms. It's just the setup process of implementing it and getting it all together. And if you don't want to do as extensive as we're doing, you guys can definitely, do 1 or 2 channels. And I'll give you a big tip. If you have a cell phone that you're not utilizing anymore, that's not connected to any services, charge that bad boy up and put it on your home internet. Right now, I literally have LinkedIn on one phone, Clubhouse on another, with 2 microphones plugged up, and I'm running the room in both places. Why not? I got one on mute and the other one off speaker. So it works perfectly. And this is where I shared with us beforehand. We got to get out of that mentality of, oh, I can't do that, or, oh, it's too difficult. Right now in today's society, it is copy, paste, drag, drop.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Oh, believe me. I mean, as opposed to the days of coding. Yeah, I'm 63. Yeah, this is like a piece of cake. But I mean, I got frustrated because the date kept changing, and then LinkedIn is like, there's a problem loading your page. And I'm like, oh my God. But those are minor irritations compared to what we used to face. Oh yeah. In college, I did cards like through the computer. Yeah, back with, oh God, I'm old. But in elementary school, late elementary school, we actually had our first computers with simple basic language. That set me up to really being geeky about IT. And I haven't been an IT person. I just lived in Seattle for 35 years, and I was surrounded by Microsofties and Facebook people, and so it just kind of rubbed off on me. But nevertheless, the technology's there. The tutorials are there with your help. I can expand this slowly. I mean, something like my dinner with Nancy is going to be a close-knit group of people who know how kooky I am. And my guests, we don't even care if it's just the 5 of us sitting around a table drinking wine. We're just going to discuss the topic of the day. But when it comes to a business forum, yeah, now it's time to expand it a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And what I'll do is I'll put my link. I'll send you my link where, if you want to, you can book an appointment with me, and I can share with you more, just like I did with Miss Patrina this afternoon, and really be able to share with you, the benefits of how amazing, you should take your voice and spread it out to different, platforms, because that's where we're at right now. Whether you or the 5 ladies join together, you definitely should share your stories, because your story is your glory. And it really, helps other people overcome what they're going about. And then more importantly, especially with you talking about events. Love, did you have something you want to add to that?
No, I just, wanted to reiterate the power of, streaming to multiple platforms. And then, guys, when you do that, so every time David and I go live Tuesdays and Wednesdays for our audio rooms, which this is obviously an audio room, we have the ability to download that and then chop that up into mini segments to where we can post it onto our social media, all by utilizing tools that we're not doing by hand. We used to do it by hand, and we spent all of our time cutting and editing and all that. And how many of you agree with us? Their time is your most valuable asset, and you don't want to spend all your time because you got other things to do. Some of you got families and other commitments, and it's not just about that. And so it really is why we do these rooms, is to share this with people, to be able to work smarter, not harder. That is the key to this game. And so, and with the power of technology, Web3 tools like AI, that is coming out, fast and furiously, there's so many programs out there that you can utilize to do multi-streaming, and then download that, upload it to your podcast, and then chop those into mini segments, and bada bing bada boom, you guys are now doing what the big dogs are doing. How many times would you guys see, like, Ed Milet or Gary V having a podcast or doing something live, and then they download it, and you just get a segment of it on their TikTok or their Instagram or whatever. And then you go out and watch the whole interview or whole live segment, whatever they did on their YouTube. It's all about repurposing. And, that's why we do these rooms, because, boy, we have saved so much time. David used to spend, close to 60 hours a week just posting on our social media and editing. Some of that had some editing in there, but not all of it. On top of that, then we spent additional, 20, 40 hours between the two of us editing and trying to get little snippets. And so it's just the power of being able to utilize that and work smarter, not harder. So that's all I really wanted to reiterate.
Yeah. And look, guys, I don't know if you know, but if you have not went to our brand new updated Biz in a Box, I encourage you to go check out our Biz in a Box. Those of you that are watching us live right now, you are looking at a live feed of our Biz in a Box. And our Biz in a Box is more than your website. It's more than your landing page. This is literally a one app, one tap, to where now you can be able to utilize a QR code, get rid of that crusty, dusty that crusty, dusty business card that you're utilizing, and have people scan your actual phone and go to your actual Biz in a Box. And now, as Tara was sharing about, you get access to showcasing all of your social media, because we're so spread out. Your LinkedIn, your TikTok, your Facebook, your YouTube, all of your payments, and your email and your phone number. And so literally, our Biz in a Box also implements, our AI videos that we create, our Hello AI MotionWorks. A lot of people have just plain Jane pictures and a whole bunch of reading, and people aren't reading that. They're literally, looking for some entertainment, to where you can get access to our Hello AI MotionWorks, where you can see our video. We put a brief description of who we are. And then the bigger thing is our podcast, our Getting Naked podcast that we just released this Friday, that we did one live in our Hello Plaza metaverse, where you can come to our Biz in a Box. And this is a great thing about podcasts. You can be able to, have it to where, you can come into our metaverse world by hitting this button right here. You can even listen to the podcast right on our Biz in a Box, compared to traditionally people are telling people and sending them the Spotify link. They got to download the Spotify link. You then got to compete with other podcasts that people are listening to, and they're not. We're on our Biz in a Box. Boom, they hit the button and they can literally listen to your podcast right there, on your Biz in a Box that we create, especially for those of you that, want to be able to boost up your email campaign, provide some free, guides, provide additional information. This allows you to now, you're right, you guys can come into our Biz in a Box and get 20 ways to monetize in metaverse for your business. You literally click that button, boom, you get to download, our free guide. You also can showcase the different things like this right here is where you press this big button into the Hello Plaza and you join us in Metaverse by just downloading another app and you're in there. Come and watch us live in our Getting Naked room. Come and shop our Hello Plaza Mall that people and businesses have implemented their business into the metaverse to showcase their business. Prime example, Miss Roberta Pacino, she has her Hello storefront where she's able to showcase and create her gallery. She also has her podcast there. She also, when she meets people for Zoom, she's able to meet them in the metaverse and not spend that $29 on Zoom. She's now have it right here, in the metaverse. And even more importantly, showcase all the things that you do. If you have a masterclass like we had our AI, on social media, you can sell your actual webinars and masterclasses on your Biz in a Box that people don't have to talk to you. You don't have to send them a link or you don't have to send them this information, that information. It's all right here on our actual Biz in a Box. You all should probably be implementing business cards, or should I say gift cards for your business. Why not? People are going to CVS and buying, this gift card, that gift card for the holidays. Why not it be to your business, right? And then you can showcase multiple different things. Like we showcase our Biz in a Box, our Pivot membership, right? Our 3D VR services, our Hello AI MotionWorks. We even do business for enterprises. And then what happens a lot of the times is people don't have a calendar. You're telling people to email you. Or a lot of my people on LinkedIn, you just got your Calendly link up at the top, and people just ain't gonna go book an appointment with you. You need to be showcasing more information and giving them more value before you're asking them to just book an appointment with you. And so our Biz in a Box separates you and your business. And more importantly, we also build out an apparel line. How many of you have your own business, especially have your own podcast, and you have these guests come on there? Hey, in order for you to be a guest on my podcast, I'm going to need you to go check out my apparel line, buy a cell phone cover, buy a keychain, buy something. That's a way you can monetize your actual podcast, right? Also, giving away other guides like we do. Not only the Metaverse guide, but you guys should definitely go and press that button, which amazes me. Most people don't press the button when they talk about AI. And I'm like, hey, we have a guide that has 30 plus tools that you can implement in your business. Go to our Biz in a Box and download it for free. It's there. Hello AI guide. It has over 30 guides. We talk about Metaverse. 86% of people have no clue what Metaverse is. Go press a button and find out about it, so you're not, out there talking and scaring people when you don't even much know what it is. And then, monetizing your social media. We just came up with a new one of Business 101, a guide to solid foundation. Most people start a business and don't know the rules of having a business and don't know the setup of a business. And those are the tips and tricks that we went throughout that. And so this is really, an all-in-one exclusive tool that we encourage you guys to come and learn more about, and or showcase it to one of your friends or families that is looking to start their business. Because if you haven't been paying attention, inflation is going up, and people are understanding that one trick pony, that job, J-O-B, just obey the boss, is not cutting it, or just over broke is definitely not making it right now. And so people are writing books, people are doing podcasts, people are joining network marketing, people are joining affiliate marketing, people are showcasing something to bring in more income because their jobs just aren't cutting it. And as we continue to remind you guys, this AI is something that is very important, and you just can't be sitting back saying, oh, I'm not going to learn how to use email. Oh, I'm not going to learn how to use this internet. Oh, I'm not going to learn, how to drive a car. You're going to be fresh out of luck if you don't start learning these things because of your trauma, your drama, your patterns, your programs of self-sabotaging yourself more than anything on what you can't do. When you do it, it's like, oh my God, that was so easy. Just like going to the gym, that we all know this feeling, that we beat ourselves up. We don't go to the gym, and then we just use more energy, not working our body out, not getting it moving, other than when we did go to the gym and we did do the workouts, or we did a jumping jack or a push-up, something, when you get finished, you're like, damn, why didn't I do that sooner? I feel so much better. And so give me an emoji if that's, registering that, you know what? That's right. I do feel better after I do this. And this is where we have to, take on this mindset and not so much worry about the concepts of AI and metaverse and blockchain and fintech and all these things that you hear about that you don't know about, but really engage with them and start learning them, because this is where we're going. Patrina was asking me earlier, she's like, the stocks and fintech and all that, I'm not too certain. I said, hey, look, you better bust a move now, because it's happening. And so either you can be left behind, or you can learn the basics and learn just the terminology and the importance of it and why it's going to work for you is the big piece. And so with that being said, love, you got anything you want to add on to that? And those of you that are on our Clubhouse, I'm about to shut this one down and go over to Chatter. But go ahead, love, what you got?
I think, the big question everybody wants to know is the monetization side of things, right? Why do we do this? Why do you provide value? The goal is to monetize. And yeah, absolutely. Every business needs to be profitable unless you're a nonprofit. And I want everybody to have a real expectation. You're not going to monetize overnight, period. You might monetize small things, like having a membership level at $7 a month or something, but large ticket items are not going to happen immediately overnight. So we need to get out of that mentality that we as a society do is the easy button. We all remember the Staples easy button. We have to get out of that mentality and not to say, oh, I created it, so it's just going to make money. There's effort, and the effort is showing up to provide value. So you got to provide value in whatever you're doing. And then like Patrina, shared is, she says, well, I guess it's because, people are, selling their products or having some sort of, AKA commercials or marketing. And yes, that's absolutely true. If you watch any podcast, there is, whether they're marketing their own services or their own, memberships or whatever it is, platforms, or if they have some sort of tie into another brand where they are becoming an affiliate of something where they're then getting a commission off of that, of whatever, how many of us have heard, use code Hello LLC and you get a, that's a commissionable link, right? And so that is the monetization that's happening. But there's nothing wrong with that, guys. And that's the thing that we have to get out of, is that we have built I don't even know, a mindset around it that just is like, ooh, that's taboo. That's, that's a no-no. And it's like, no, it's a profitable business. You have no problem dropping your money to Amazon every day, every other day to order whatever it is, because the convenience factor. You have no problem going to whatever fast food, Chipotle or, Subway or what it is for lunch. You have no problem drinking a Coca-Cola. Those are all large brands. You have no problem doing that. Why is it when small brands or medium-sized brands start sharing about, hey, I utilize this, product or service, and we have really good luck with it, and you should try it out too if you're interested, check it out. Why do we as a society build up such a taboo around it? Frankly, if you look back in history, in the early 1900s and the late 1800s, small businesses, medium-sized businesses were over 90% of the population. So 90% of the population back then had a small to medium business, obviously, because someone had to be, the farrier, someone had to be the baker, someone had to be the, attorney, somebody had to be all of these, the individuals had to be these different services. Someone had to be the seamstress. Someone had to show up and provide these services and pay for it. And over time, over 100 years, we have now moved, and even more than that, because obviously we're in, 2024. So about, 125 years or plus, we've moved into a mentality where we'll only give our money to large corporations and the small businesses are just SOL. And we've got to pivot that thinking. We've got to pivot that stingy energy where we do move in to be able to help the community. If like someone who does services like us, or for instance, there's a young lady on LinkedIn here, Jen Lynn. She does branding, and we had a client that used our services and her services. Now, we don't do full branding, but a part of us building a foundation for a business is we kind of do get over into the branding side of things. And it was great because we were all able to work together. We shared the information, the fonts and the colors that we use. So Jen Lynn could do her portion of what she was hired for, and we could complete our portion of what we were hired for. And that's where we really are coming back as a community to be able to be in the mindset that there's enough abundance for all of us. There's enough of us all to win. It just because I spend $20 with Nancy doesn't mean I can't spend $20 with Zion or Augusta or Tamrat or Chef Andy, right? That means that there's enough abundance for us all to be able to win. And so that factor of monetization, you have to be consistent. David and I were just talking about this last night. He said the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. And I said, yes, but consistency comes before success and work. You got to be consistent. You got to show up day in, day out. Guys, there's times that we show up and there's nobody in our room. Do we still hold a room? You bet. Why? Because we know that some days we're going to be on and some days, we're not going to have anybody. That's just A-okay. But if you go in a direction long enough, you're going to get to the destination that you're looking for. All of us know that. If you are consistent long enough, you're going to get there. And let me talk about this just real briefly about the value. We provide an immense amount of value. If you jumped into our Pivot membership at $7 a month, there's over 100 videos of how-tos. There's guides. There's, all of this stuff that we have just brain dumped everything that we use into this platform. So one spot so you guys can have access to that. And people are like, well, why don't you give it away for free? Well, after 8 years of gaining all of that knowledge through trial and error, I think $7 is pretty reasonable to ask, and so it's that stingy mindset of, well, just give it away for free. Well, why aren't you giving everything away for free? Because we all need to be profitable at some point. And so with that stated, we have to understand the value that we show up. You do want to give a lot of value. And here's why. Your subconscious as a human is an interesting little creature. But the one most important thing about that is that when anybody shows up and they see the value that a company provides or an individual soulpreneur provides, and it's just like, oh my God, this was so much value, you should be charging for it. Your subconscious immediately clicks into, wow, if I did pay for services, just imagine how much value I would get for that. Guys, we were just helping a client last week. And she was actually in our clubhouse room last week talking about this when we were talking about business ethics. And she has not had the best of experience with another small company. She's not really got what she paid for. She's not getting any response. She's not got anything that she paid for. And she chose to move over and do business with us, which we're very grateful for. But one of the things that she has an outstanding ticket item that she's just needing so she can get FDA regulations processed for her business and for what she's doing. And she's just stuck and she's frustrated. And David and I made a choice as a company to say to our client, how about you give us all that? We're only going to charge you guys, the amount of money that should be charged versus what we charged was 1%. Like it's under $100 of what we charge. And this services of what should be charged was well over $1,000 worth of work. But to us, it doesn't matter. To us, it's we made an exception because she's already doing business on another item, another arena with us. And why for us to, gouge somebody does not make sense. We just want her to be able to get off of the stuck button so she can, because she is being held hostage at this point because she can't do it herself. and just be able to get it done so she can be profitable in her business. That is what it means by showing up and being ethical, being of integrity, and not and being slightly profitable. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, she was like, "That's all you guys are going to charge me?" Yes, ma'am. Because to us, we're not retiring on that one ticket at all. But to us, it means more that she's going to be left with a good feeling and hopefully turn around and refer us to other people, so that way we gain more business by her good experience. And so for us, that was a smart business move on our end. That doesn't mean that's for everybody, but it's being understandable about how to help, as you know, still be profitable. Don't be out here doing things for free. David and I did things for free for a very long time in our business, and we realized the value and the worth we provide, and we had to get, kind of out of that mindset. So guys, we share this because we've been down this road. We've been through the ringer. We've been through all the potholes. We know where all the landmines are, and we share this because we don't want you guys to have to struggle as well. And so being able to monetize in any sort of value that you're providing, your podcast, whatever, it is just so important to understand it doesn't happen overnight. But if you continue to be consistent and show up and put the greater good of other people with, slight monetization behind it, it will then, you'll reap the benefits, because we are changing in the times. That capitalist way of where what's in it for me, and it's only about me, and it's only about how much money I make, is changing. You might not see it super prevalent right now, but it's changing. The undertow is here. And why not be one of those companies that's on the forefront of that and the cusp of making that an actual reality instead of just something we talk about? So I see you jump back up here, Miss Nancy. What do you want to add to that?
You've got about 30 memes that you need to post. It is just amazing, the quips that you come out with that are so rich. So create some memes and send them out. I want to talk about the small business environment, because I agree with you 100%. We've moved away from supporting small businesses. Let me give you some examples. If I go to Chef Andy and I get some food cooked, or I watch him cook, I will turn around and buy food, because and sit and eat dinner, and I don't know what kind of venue you have, but cater or whatever it is, because it's something tangible. I live in Denver, Colorado, and there's a local shop for local women artists, and I bought out the place. I mean, I have Christmas gifts for the next 10 years because I value that kind of small business, and she was so appreciative. But where it comes to services, I've been burned. Recently, a LinkedIn professional group who was fledgling, brand new, didn't deliver. I immediately asked for my money back, promised my money back. 3 months later, I don't see it. I got the hounds on it, not those hounds in another group, but I've got some LinkedIn hounds going after them, because this is not right. And it spoils other small businesses who offer services. So I think mostly where services are concerned, and even like I'm getting solar on my roof because it's sunny all the time here and I have such sun exposure. The salesman was kind of slick. And then I had a friend of mine negotiate with them. And I was hoping that the installers were as talented as the salesman is. But that's not always the case. Sometimes they subcontract and they don't stand by the install. It's all about the sale. So in the case of Victor, he's not only sold me the solar panels, but he's going to be here install day, and he knows his installers, and he knows I'm not going to be in town. So he's supervising the project in my absence. And that is service provided. That I don't mind paying extra for. And I didn't shop around. People around here, Denver is an expensive city. I posted online a couple of fine furniture pieces. They're nickel and diming me. I am ashamed at how people will screw your next door neighbor, but like you say, go to McDonald's.
100,000,000%. I want to jump in that real quick, Mr. John. There's two things that I want to, add to that because I am, such a fan of what you said. I think it is our responsibility as solopreneurs, business owners, or even business supporters, right? You don't even have to own a business, but I think it is, in connection to the runaround that you're getting on from a group of LinkedIn. Today I'll be transparent about this. We work with a company, we partner with a company on, some of our services, and long story kind of short is there was a meeting that was held over a month ago with this company, and they were doing some field research to find out they're looking to make sure that they're profitable, right? They're a smaller business making sure that they're profitable, and so they're looking at different pricing models, which heck, we don't mind. We understand all businesses. If you're a for-profit business, you gotta be profitable or you ain't gonna be here anytime, in the future. And but during that meeting, the representative that was meeting with us assured us multiple times that they would not be changing the pricing model, this, that, and the other, right? Well, exactly 1 month later, we get an email as an email blast. This is not even a personal email to us, but it was an email blast that they came out with a new subscription pricing model effective immediately. Now, luckily, the active users that were already in place and active partners that were already in place, they were going to grandfather in and they wouldn't be affected. So it wasn't affecting us directly. But I sat on that for about a week, and I thought, it is our responsibility as doing business as a small business with another small business to make sure that they understand how that lands when you have a conversation, and then a month later that what you said was not going to be implemented was implemented. Now, again, we are in support of people to be a for-profit business if that's what you are intending to be, but be transparent about that. And I sent a very nice email today to that company and said, hey, I am just sending this email out from one business to another business to show you guys and share with you how that lands. We're grateful that we're, grandfathered in, but it's important for us to hold you to integrity, the business integrity that we hold ourselves to and other people that we partner with, because it is our brand as well. And so we got an immediate response from the gentleman that actually, who is number 2 in the company, who is the one that was on the call with us, and said, thank you so much for this feedback. We do see how that could have landed. And this has been valuable feedback for us to make sure that in the future, we roll that out a little bit better, or we're a little more transparent. And it's just about holding people to the business ethics and business integrity. If we have high integrity and our brand is of high integrity, then that means that we need to make sure those around us that we're associating with also are of high integrity. And so, that's just an example of, I think, what it is our responsibility as, people who are small business supporters or small businesses and medium-sized businesses to say, hey, not to jump their case, not to make them wrong, but just to say, hey, this is kind of how that landed. Were you aware of that? And I hope you can utilize this as constructive, not even constructive criticism, just constructive feedback to move forward, that in the future when you guys have something like this to roll out, that you're a little more transparent. That way it doesn't leave a salty taste in people's mouth. And I think that's huge when it comes down to us as businesses. And the second thing that I'll add to what you said and what you shared, Nancy, is your salesperson on the solar side going that I always call it this, it's going the nth degree, right? Going just one more step to make sure they have a satisfied customer. Because I too worked in corporate America for 22 plus years, and I would have client after client after client show up and call me, and they would call the owner of the company and say, the only reason I'm doing business with you is because of Tara Bush, because the way that she goes to the nth degree to make sure we are taken care of, regardless if that was named or not. And that meant I had to show up to job sites and make sure that the job was running smoothly and how the client expected, whether they were there or not there, because that's not their responsibility to, babysit the installation, quote unquote, because that's what I did for many, many, many years. And so it is that level of going the extra mile to make sure people are taken care of. And that's where I say, provide value, show up. Make sure that you are doing what you would want in return if you were that person. So I appreciate that share, Nancy. That is you. It was a value packed share, and I thank you for coming up here and sharing that, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, baby. And one other thing that I just want to re-emphasize is that how we do business with other people, impacts all of us together. If you do bad business, then that's going to be harder for that person to do business with the next person. And we hear these stories all the time, which I'm pretty sure you guys do as well, is that you hear a story about how, like Miss Nancy, and that puts a bad stain in her mouth. And so next time somebody does come at her with, something, then she's going to be a little bit hesitant and maybe say no to something that she should have said yes to. And this is what we share with people all the time, is that we're saying no to the things that we should be saying yes to, and saying yes to the things that we definitely should be saying no to when we come to build our business and build our brand and moving forward. Because you're not great at the training, but you need help with the transaction. And because of that situation, because things not being done, we decide to take it upon ourselves to do it ourselves. And that just doesn't work, right? You don't see a plumber going to being a doctor, and vice versa. Though there's things that you're great at, there's things that you're good at, there's things that you absolutely don't know, especially when it comes down to, our business etiquette and services and things of that sort. So I greatly appreciate that share, Miss Nancy. But I see we got Mr. Watts over here on our new Chatter. If you guys don't know about Chatter, I highly encourage you guys to come join us on Chatter. And then, speaking of Chef Andy, Miss Nancy, Chef Andy has his biz in a box with us as well. And he's also in our metaverse, Hello Plaza, where you literally can, if you guys are watching me live right now, you can see I'm going through his storefront where you can learn about his amazing pasta sauces. You can learn, a little bit of the backstory with some of the ingredients. You can learn about, his up and coming things that he has up and rolling. You can also get his free, actual recipes. Last time I said sauces, so I got it right. His free recipes that you can get access to, and then also learn about, all of his amazing sauces, where you even can press this button right here where it says click more, and boom, it takes you straight to his biz in a box to where you can go and purchase, his sauces. And so this allows him to have a completely different immersive experience, especially sharing with people, hey, I got my metaverse store. And people are going to ask him, well, I don't have the Oculuses. I don't have those Apple Vision Pro headsets. No. You don't need it. You can click this button right here. This is visit my VR storefront, and boom, you download an app. Boom, you hit it again and you're in there. And so this creates a completely different experience for yourself to showcase, for you to be able to not only, separate yourself from somebody that has a business card, but now you can get people's information and get their attention right there on the spot. And then something that you guys might not know about that we're gonna be promoting this week is now we've created avatars that you can walk up to and actually speak to, or you can type out questions. And so just imagine having a virtual assistant for your business in this 3D immersive environment that people can come and walk up to and learn everything about your business, everything about your podcast and what you're doing. And so, this is just the beginning, especially for those of you that are just now talking about AI. Chat GPT is not the only thing about, AI. So many people are just talking about Chat GPT, when in our guide that we have in our biz in a box, there's over 30 AI tools that you guys could be implementing into your business and not even for your business, but just for your basic casual life. right? You got a yearbook, you got a family book of pictures. There's an AI app that will regenerate those and put it together for you to where bada boom, bada bang. Now everybody has access to that, especially getting it from the old school, photos to a digital landscape. And so, that's the biggest thing that we wanted to be able to share with you guys. But Mr. Watt, brother, do you have anything you want to add or talk about on this topic? Talk to us. What you got?
Oh man, look, I was just tapping in. I see the word podcast and immediately it's locked me in so I can hear what folks got going on. I am a producer myself as well as a podcaster. So I'm always going to come into these spaces and see what people got to offer and see what I can offer people.
Yeah, man. Well, you want to share with the people, about your podcast and what it's about, brother? Our stage is your stage. Let's go. Promote.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Watts. I'm out of Cleveland. I am currently sitting in my studio, my second studio. I'm a podcast producer here. I currently produce 18 shows a week for different clients. I have 2 of my own, my flagship shows called Blurs and Clips. We talk TV, movies, and video games. And then I serve a plethora of clients that have all sorts of different topics that they touch on. I am pretty inarguably the most active and biggest podcast producer here in the Northeast Ohio area. And I am currently signed as both a producer and podcaster to Revolt and the Revolt Podcast Network for both of those purposes. And now inside Chatter, just tapping in with people and, hunting for more other creatives and creators to work with and work beside and build out the community here.
I love it, brother. That's awesome, man. Congrats, man, on all the success and helping out people, especially when we talk about podcasts and getting out your voice, because you are all one conversation away. And there is nothing wrong with you, sharing your story, because it's going to relate with someone. And especially, building a podcast, regardless of what it's about, just pressing the button and doing it. Whether it's as extensive as with Mr. Watts, right? Or, you guys going and download Anchor Spotify. That's a free app. Get your headsets and start to talk. You got to start somewhere. And just like, with our Getting Naked podcast that we have, this is where we've taken it to the next level to where you guys can come and listen to it in the metaverse. And Watts, this is definitely something you probably should check out. I'll put it up here at the top. And so you can see my actual screen. And that's the one great thing about Chatter, to where you can take your podcast in metaverse, to where it's not just on a crusty, dusty, YouTube or, the traditional ways that people are listening to their podcast now. You can enhance that experience and then be able to have a place to where people can come and listen to it and learn about all the things that you do as well. And so, that's a great way to be able to implement and to be able to, share with people what you do, how you do it, and really take over the next, level of really, at the end of the day, we're moving to a new era of engagement. All of these apps that we're using now to engage with each other, they're about to be obsolete. Mark my words, T-minus 3 years, if not sooner. And to where we're literally, as you guys are paying attention, when you do go on TikTok right now, the NCAA game just came out. There are thousands of people on, TikTok right now and Twitch that are playing the game and building their content by just playing the game and showcasing that. This is literally where we're at right now as well, where it's going to take more than you just showing up for social media and you talking. You're going to have to engage people, because we got 7 seconds or less to engage with people. And so that's huge. So Love, you got anything you want to add? I'm going to share my screen over here on Chatter so Watts can see it. Miss Kimberly left us, so I'll definitely, hopefully she comes back. But I'm going to share my screen, Love. You got anything?
Well, I had a question for the gentleman over there. I'm sorry. I think it was Watts is what you said.
Yes, yes.
Does he find now that we're moving into a more Web3 based community, and we have more technology tools at our fingertips, that him being able to increase the amount of shows he produces each week is easier because of technology? Or, are you still utilizing the old school way?
So I
Hopefully you
definitely
can hear
have
me
not
well.
tapped
He can hear-
into Web3 yet. Everybody here is all, for the most part, I mean, I'm still physically in studio. People come in to me here. I definitely have created.
He's breaking up on us. Watch you. You're breaking up on us. It might be me, but go try again for me. Watch you there. I could. That was simple. Really was one of the largest parts of it, and also bring it down for dummies. Oh, we lost him. Hold on. Here we go. Invite to stage. Am I heard? Yeah. Go ahead now. We hear you now. Somehow you dropped out. You back in. Go ahead. Okay, cool. Remember where I was? Anybody here? Where you were sharing where you're starting to utilize some of the tools. I was trying to stream at the same time. Tara, I got you. Tara, did you catch the last piece?
If you would just repeat it all, that would be great because he broke up kind of towards the beginning for all of us on the LinkedIn side.
Gotcha. Okay, got you. So yeah, I haven't tapped into anything Web3 as of yet, but everyone was doing things what I can only call an antiquated way, and I had to figure out my own method entirely for production to be able to turn things around in a timely fashion, to be able to get into live streaming and all of those spaces, which for myself, I had absolutely no experience with. So now my method is fairly proprietary. Just the way that I take care of things in my company, we get shows shot, turned around, edited, put together, logos, graphics, yada, yada, you name it, and upload the same day. So tapping more into a space to go beyond just physically shooting shows here in this, even though I find that this has been a great improvement and an advantage over my competitors. I'm always looking for what is the next thing for sure, because it's fine to be ahead, but oh, we lost you. I'm trying to share my screen. I think it's cutting out or on that. I was done. Oh, okay. Perfect. So you can probably see my screen at the top. Let me know when you see it. I do see it. And so this right here is a new way for you to be able to showcase, your podcast. This is where our Hello Plaza, to where we have people come and watch and do their webinars, do their master classes, do everything. And I'm waiting on it to load. But as you can see, right, that is one of our podcasts that we have playing in the background, that this creates a completely different experience, that people can come in here and they can come in their avatar and literally watch the podcast, listen to the podcast. You can do live podcasts in here as well, and you show up as an avatar. And so definitely people can join this from their cell phone, their laptop, and their VR headsets, to where, this creates a different scenario. This makes it completely different than what you might have been accustomed to in the past, to where, this is interactive. This ain't that Go Brunch or, any of these other, glorified Zooms that really, people are doing themselves injustice trying to call that metaverse, and it's not metaverse. This is the true immersive, environment that people can be able to implement into, their brand, their business, and everything else that they're using. We even have, our storefront that people come in here and are able to implement. So if you have any questions, you can come off mute, because I can't go back off mute on my side. On this end. This is great. And where are you guys? I'm sorry, go again. Yeah, I am. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Now I can't.
I think he was asking where we're at. We're located in Houston, Texas, but we obviously are a global company. So David and I are digital nomads, and so we currently travel the world. David's actually currently in Mexico at the place that we get to stay there, and I'm currently in Idaho right now visiting my family. So it's the beautiful thing about being able to be digital entrepreneurs. We get to work around the world.
Yeah, I think he left. I think it was something going on with the service, but yeah, love, and so as we continue this conversation, those of you that are watching us live right now, we're in Roberta Pacino's back office, her studio, where she's going to be having her podcast, to where this is where she meets her clients for her Zoom. This is where she gets to showcase her art gallery. This is her one-stop shop. To where she can interact and meet with people. As you can see, her artwork back there on the back wall that she's utilizing. And then this is where she has her podcast. You can come in here and sit. You can do all these things, in this world, and be able to really, truly make it immersive. And so some other great facts that we want to be able to share with you guys all is that, to provide we talked about that, is being able to utilize this, and Tara touched on this as well. With this podcast alone that we're doing, or broadcast, social audio room, all in one, we're literally going to drop this into one of our AI tools that we utilize, and it's going to chop and cut, 20 different, pieces of material that I can be able to utilize. It's going to put the captions. I can change it to different sizes, and then I can also schedule it on my social media, where I'm not going one for one, where I can put it on my Instagram, my YouTube, my Twitch, all of that on one slide. And so this makes it so much easier for those of us that are not only thinking about, podcasts, but if you're a business, if you're an entrepreneur, like with Miss Nancy, she literally can do this one room that they're going to do on Saturday, take that video, put it in this AI tool, and now she has content for the rest of the week to lead her up to the next time she does a podcast, or up until next week. And now she's not worrying about, what am I going to post? What am I going to do? It's done, and it's video, which you're going to get 95% more engagement compared to the old school, pictures or anything else. And so that's why this week you guys are going to be seeing a lot more video in our social media, understanding that fact alone. And then, offering more intimate connections with your audience, as we're doing here. In a social media post, Nancy's not going to be able to ask us questions. She's not going to be able to talk. Chef Andy's not going to be able to share with us his amazing things, and Tamara isn't going to be able to do the same thing. And then really being able to generate a podcast, or should I say, a podcast helps you generate leads. It helps you, have sponsorships. If you do have a business, you definitely should have an affiliate program for your business, like with our Biz in a Box. When people say, hey, let me get that Biz in a Box, your business comes with another business that when people see your Biz in a Box, who did that? Who put all of your business into one app, one tap, using a QR code, has everything that I need? Who did that? Because I need that. And they did all this additional, stuff for you, building your platform. Hit that button down there and they'll have a conversation with you. And this is where we share with you guys all, collaboration is the new competition, just as long as we get out of our own way, right? And so when we talk about these things, have a Q&A for your podcast, right? This creates a community. You get to discover new people. Us doing a room last week, we met Patrina. She was able to have a conversation, and now she's like part of us. Simple as that. And so, increasing your brand awareness and visibility. You want to know how to build your business? Start a podcast. You want to get better social media? Start a podcast, right? It's a great way to storytell and being able to really have a cost-effective way to market your business, because guess what? We're doing this podcast, this live room right now, one time. I'm going to be able to splice it and dice it in so many different ways. And it's going to be, on every platform that we use also right now. And I don't have to go and put it on there, especially for some of y'all that don't know. For you sticking around, I'm going to give you one big tip. One of those AI tools, you probably should be utilizing StreamYard. Okay. point blank. If you're doing a live audio room, you can do that. And just like with the metaverse, you don't have to show your face. We're in our avatars in our metaverse room, and now a live room, a podcast room, a broadcast is all the same to us because we're in our avatars. Okay. So, Love, you got anything you want to add on to that?
Well, I would just say, the fact of, jumping into the Web3 space to host your podcast. We'll use Miss Pacino as an example. She was hesitant, very hesitant. It took us a few months to get her there. But now that she's in there and doing it, she's just ecstatic. I mean, have you ever, seen a new puppy and you pet him and then you walk away and there's like a little puddle of wetness there? That's kind of the ecstaticness that she's had, is that the experience of getting into the space and actually doing it. It's kind of, daunting when you're not used to it or you don't know, but in reality, it's super simple. If you can figure out how to do, it on, Spotify for podcasts, you can do it in there. It is not a tough thing. It's just, do you have the willpower? And if you don't, then jump on a call with us and we'd be happy to, share more information about that and how we're helping other people do it, including ours. We just did our own podcast last Friday in there. And guys, it's great because I don't have to get dressed in the sense of like putting my hair, doing my hair, putting makeup on and, being presentable for camera. I mean, it's great to get all dolled up as a girl, but there are times that we just don't want to put our makeup on and do all that. And so it really is a great alternative. And then, guys, guess what? We pull that audio off of there when we do it and we upload it into our Spotify podcast. So we're not only hitting the old channels, we're also doing something new and inventive and innovative. The other thing I want to say is that David talked about how the increased engagement. Right now, we all know that a goldfish has an attention span of 8 seconds. Humans were like at 7 seconds. We're down to like 3 seconds. How many of you are scrolling on social media and within like 2.5 seconds, you figured out if you want to stay or scroll? We don't have an attention span at all when it comes to that. If it's not engaging and grabbing our attention. Well, the difference from, I'll just give us the benefit of the doubt and say 7 or 8 seconds. The difference is where you have people sticking around for 9 to 10 minutes. That's huge. That is so huge. And that is because Web3 provides an experience that's different. Again, like in ours, ours is in a hot air balloon, our podcast studio. So it's a hot air balloon above our Hello Plaza. And if you get tired of that, you can jump down and go drive the golf cart around and run into things, So it's just having fun. And that is a part of, this is what I've been sharing. I've been sharing it for 8 years. It's called gamification. If you gamify whatever you're doing, people are going to stick around. Some people call it gamified marketing. Some people call it gamification. It's all the same. Are you providing a level of fun? Just like BMW does now, they have a motorcycle in their Web3 space. You can go in, test drive a motorcycle, and you can basically ride the motorcycle around and earn these coins that you can then turn around and trade in for actual apparel. So, you might have to spend a long time in there, gaining all these coins, but you could get a BMW t-shirt. It's things like that. Are you thinking outside the box to increase the engagement activity? So I wanted to really hone in on that part, Mr. Jones.
No, Love, you're spot on, especially with gamification.
Did we lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Can you not hear me? Tara?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. You're so spot on, with the gamification piece. that companies have to understand. I was in a room the other day and people were talking about you need to make your business more funner, and you need to, interact with people, and you need to, be able to utilize, AI. And I'm like, that's gamification. And that's where metaverse and that's where AI comes into play, to where you literally can gamify your business and encourage people to come and join. Like, prime example for those of you that are watching us live right now in our Hello Plaza, right now, you're able to literally every 5 minutes that you come into our metaverse world, or you go visit our, you go and listen to our podcast, you gain a Hello coin. And for every coin, you can utilize those coins for services or products from the Hello LLC. And so just by, coming in and, being a part of our community, you can get some of the things that we have. And those of you that own a business, those of you that are coaches, real estate, authors, you can have it to where you have your own Hello Plaza, studio, do your book launch, do your actual, book, your book club. And for those of you that are doing, that are in real estate, a lot of you already have the videos of these homes that you're showcasing. And why not put that in a 3D immersive world where people can be like, boom, go check out all my house listings that you have right here. If you're a coach, then you definitely should probably be implementing the metaverse, because you're doing webinars, you're doing master classes. You might have a membership platform, just like we do, that people can come into the metaverse and be able to get, the same videos that are on the 2D world, they can get into the 3D world. And so it literally allows you guys to, utilize, this into a completely different way. And you stop being the one that's doing all the talking for your business. And so, Lance, brother, we see you came up on stage, man. What would you like to share, or, ask a question about? Talk to us.
Oh man, first of all, I appreciate it. I was invited by Miss Nancy Anderson, man. I'm telling you, she has a knack for finding things that I seem to be just interested in. So I think that's pretty neat. So I think one thing that I've noticed, because I haven't been as consistent with my podcast, because my day job is I'm a principal of a school, but I also have my own consulting company, and so I've been a member of a bunch of podcasts and stuff like that as well. Been a guest, but I noticed that one thing that helped me was I have a mobile podcast device. So it's an actual mobile podcast. It's wireless, so I can pull up anywhere at any time. I even have a mobile sounds booth, so I can pop it up anywhere and do, and literally, like you were saying, podcasts you have the ability to really just literally do it at any time, at any place. You're not locked to your computer screen, or you're not tethered to the wall with a cord. So there are some great technologies out there that will allow you to do this mobily. So I do have a mobile podcast center, and I also thought one thing I wanted to share with Tara, which I'm sure she's already aware of, is that the one you were saying you could upload it onto other platforms. There's some really cool AI tools out there now that allow you to transform that long form into multiple short forms. There's going to be like little tidbits, little nuggets of gold that you say. And Gary Vee is a big, he does a lot of that. So does what's the guy? What's the real big swole dude who's the member? He owns School or whatever. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Anyway, so he does a lot of little shorts. So you can take that long form content, run it through that AI algorithm, and it will snatch 10, 15 little shorts that you can pull out that are really good gold nuggets of wisdom, shall I say, the diamonds in the rough as you're talking and getting and going through those things. And so that's another key that I found was really powerful. And then that content, not only, like you said, gamifying, man, I'm in education. So I'm all about gamification of education. So the more you can have these kids or these people or your businesses, your clients interact with what you're doing, the more powerful you will come off as. So I just wanted to kind of just share that. And also, when it comes down to creating a podcast in a social audio room, what are your thoughts on kind of staying within a niche, or being able to, or being more organic and free, and sometimes talking about a topic that, because some people like to do content calendars and they have everything kind of planned out. But what are your thoughts on, of course, what are you on content calendars versus sometimes impromptu things that just kind of pop up? Because there might, like some people started doing podcasts on the Olympics because it's relevant, it was out there. So what are your thoughts on those two items?
Well, first of all, thanks for jumping up here, Lance. And thank you, Miss Nancy, for inviting Lance in. Greatly appreciate the love and the support. And thank you, Lance, for jumping up here and sharing. So first of all, yes, we are always a proponent of anything you want to talk about. We actually share a lot of times people, that might be a real estate. Well, I'll just use this as an example because it's what we use all the time. We'll say, you might be a real estate agent, but in your off time, you might love to garden and quilt and do some homesteading and, have a green thumb and, talk about that, because at the end of the day, you can promote your services within there saying anybody looking to buy or sell a house, I am a real estate agent as well, but you're going to, and can talk about that as well. You don't have to just stay on brand, on topic of what you're talking about. You can talk about anything that you want. So we're a huge advocate and proponent of being able to mix it up, and throw a little bit of a, I don't want to say a wrench because that's always a bad thing, but throw some more grease on the wheel, it doesn't hurt. And thank you so much for, bringing up the fact of being able to use, take long form content and dropping it into short form. I was just sharing that before, earlier in our conversation today, that is huge. That's what we do. It's what everybody should be doing, is taking their long form content, utilizing an AI tool that will chop it up and really find those highlights. And so that way you can throw it up there. I know, like you said, Gary Vee is amazing on it. Ed Milet does a wonderful job on it. Tony Robbins does a great job. I mean, there's so many people out there that do a great job at being able to take long form content down into mini clips, so they don't have to be doing a multitude of different things. They can use, as I say, one bird or one stone for many birds. And that's kind of a bad analogy because, I'm not about, killing a bunch of birds, but, it's just my own thing. So, you can have one tool or do something cut once and be able to have that for a multitude of platforms. So, thank you for bringing that back around because it is a great.
Alex Hermosi, by the way, that was the name I couldn't think of real quick. Alex Hermosi is.
There you go.
Yeah, that dude's a beast. Like, he literally is a beast, and he uses like a whiteboard or a piece of paper and a magic marker, and he's just sitting there in a tank top, right, with a noseband on, for a breathing strip, and he's just so casual, but he's literally dropping bombs of knowledge, and he's so interactive, so engaging. Sometimes he's just walking down the street. Sometimes he's just standing in front of a whiteboard. Sometimes he'll actually edit a lot of videos, but some of the stuff, the more organic I think that stuff is, the more authentic you come across to your clientele. Because I mean, if it's so too rehearsed, they start looking at you sideways, like how much of this is real and how much of this is, something they scripted out. And so I think sometimes, like you said, what you were saying before, just like talk about something that's really close to your heart. Like you might be in real estate, but you also might be gardening. You might be growing tomatoes. Hey guys, I'm in the process of growing some tomatoes. And I was deciding, should I go organic or should I go hydroponic? And what are your thoughts on that? And then you start to really share a little piece about yourself. And then you just, they see you as a human and not just, because most people think we're an avatar after a while, because now AI is getting so crazy where you can literally clone yourself and just type in a script and your mouth is moving and words are just being said, but it's not you. So that's what I wanted to say. So like you were saying, Alex Ramosi and people like Gary Vee, and what you're doing there. And of course, the fact that you're in a hot air balloon, like that's also unique. Like who thinks about, doing a podcast in a balloon or something like that. So that's how they know for sure that you're not scripting a lot of this stuff, because it's so unique, so special. So I think that's what I wanted to just kind of continue to share. And David's a beast too. I've been following him for a while and helping people transform their business. That's something that he's passionate about, and you can hear it in his voice. And so it doesn't come off as rehearsed or anything that that he's trying to he's not. It's like he doesn't want your money. He wants your attention. Right. So if he gets your attention, he'll show you how to make money and all that other stuff. So that's something huge. So shout out to you, David, and just what I've observed from you from afar. I'm in sales, so they all say that the rule of thumb is, if you're in sales, you're a talker, but you're also a stalker. So we keep an eye out on what's going on around us, and we learn from the best. So thanks again for this opportunity to share, Tara.
Absolutely. And David is my significant other, and he's pretty amazing. I will say ditto to that. He does, and attention is more valuable than money. And people will argue with me on that, but you don't understand. That's why they say, bad attention sells better than good attention. And we're not here to promote, everybody go out and get bad attention, but it's true. It's getting that attention and getting the, an understanding, that value that it creates. And so, and one last thing I wanted to add, and you brought this up, was that authenticity factor. Man, we did a room last week. We talk about this all the time. Be authentic. Show up in your house, house coat, if that's how you like to show up every day. Don't do your hair. Like, the more real you are, the more people are going to want to follow you. Gone are the days of being, prim and proper and all, camera ready, because again, like you said, how much of it is fake? How much is it, is scripted, instead of just showing up and being like, yep, this is how I woke up today. And no, I haven't brushed my teeth or brushed my hair, and I don't care, but I wanted to have this thought and this conversation with you over my coffee or my tea. And what's the thought? Because you know what? 99% of the people that are listening to you are probably in the same boat. They haven't brushed their teeth or brushed their hair either, or whatever, or wish they weren't having to brush their teeth or brush their hair, and just in the same factor that you're at. So, those are such valuable nuggets. And, again, Lance, thank you so much for jumping in here, and big kudos and big love to Nancy for inviting you. So, Mr. Jones, jump in on that, love.
Yeah, well, Lance, brother, I greatly appreciate that, man. Attention is definitely something that, we share with people, and it's not even about the sales. Like I shared with Miss Patrina earlier. I said, look, in our meeting, I want you to understand, I want more for you than from you. And if it's a no, just tell me it's a no. But I'm here to tell you right now, I'm about to make it very hard for you to say no on the things that you share with me that you want. And the things that you share with me that you want to be able to implement, we can be able to do those things. It is truly going to be up to you if you want to make that pivot, because it's never about the money. Because if people want to go to Beyonce concert, they're going to find the money. If people want a brand new purse, they're going to find the money. People talk about a vacation, they're going to find the money. And so this is where we share with people, do you have a business or do you have a hustle? And a lot of the times, most people have a hustle and not willing to invest in their business and not willing to learn new things and change new things. We want more change, but we don't want to do the change. We want success, but we don't want to work. And I share with people, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody's ready to die. And so
I heard a new one. I heard a new one. Can I add?
Yeah, come on, baby. What you got?
Everybody wants to park in the shade, but nobody wants to plant a tree.
Oh, good one. I love it. And, speaking of helping you all, and especially with today's conversation, we talked about podcasts and taking these things. I just shared one of our amazing apps that we use in the actual post itself over here on LinkedIn. So those of you that are on all these other channels, I'll be sure to go put that link in that actual chat group, because we're live right now on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitch, on X, on Chatter, on YouTube, and this is where we share with you guys. You got to spread yourself out there. But I put one of our apps that we use. I'm not going to say the name out loud. You got to go and search for it. And if you do go to our LinkedIn, I ask you like the post, put a comment on there, right? Reshare it if you would like to. Nancy, I greatly appreciate you resharing the post, because that's what this is all about. Collaboration is the new competition. And the sooner, the better that we get out of that. You do you. I'm not going to like your post. I'm not going to share your post. I'm not going to do this. Then you're being stingy. And that same amount of energy that you're being stingy is the same amount of energy, if not less energy, to hit that button. Because guess what? Your ass is hitting that screen. So why not hit the like button and scroll down? And this is where we share with our community is that if you want love, you got to give love. If you want people to comment and post and share on your actual, your stuff, you got to do it. And especially on LinkedIn now, there's a great little indicator that shares with you how much you're commenting, how many people you posting. It asks you to do 3. Hell, last week I had 50. Okay. And so we just don't talk about it. We are actually about it and doing the things, because a lot of the times you're getting these audio rooms, real talk, and people will talk a great game and they won't do what they're asking you to do. And so we make sure that we show up and supporting you guys and liking your content wherever you are. And so definitely go and get that app, because that app, guys, is amazing. It literally allows me to drop this podcast in there today that we're going to do. I drop it in there. It literally chops it up into 20, 30 different little segmentations. I can split it up from a minute, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and then it will put the captions on it. And then it will allow me to connect all my social media, where it will write out the actual post itself. It will give me hashtags, and boom, I hit post or schedule it out, and it's out the gate. What you got, Lance?
I'm about to say, I know that tool well, so I ain't going to share it either, because I also dropped one in the comments too, which is an additional one that I kind of use as an add-on for that when you're trying to maybe just kind of this. I call it a conversation starter. It kind of gets things going and lets people know what you're about. Same kind of tool, but just and you'll even like the name of it. It keeps things really. It looks and feels more natural. And it really makes your content pop, and it's very user friendly, and it's adaptable. You can change it if you want it to be more anime style. You can literally change the style of the way your content is distributed. So I'm all about sharing tools, man. I love this. So you guys speaking my language. I'm loving it. So you guys, man, if you haven't connected with them already, connect, share, and then that tool he's talking about, it's in the comment section. It is powerful. He's right. That thing is on fleek for real.
Yeah, Grant Cardone, multiple different businesses utilize it, and I share with people now that we all now have the same opportunity as when our asses was watching the Super Bowl commercial, 20, 15, 10 years ago. Be like, damn, I sure wish I could get me a Super Bowl commercial. That would be amazing. My business would blow up. And now you have the same opportunity that Nike, Gucci, Hyundai, all of these companies have by implementing this AI tools. And look, do not be scared. It's copy, paste, drag, drop. More importantly, your ass better start reading. So often we open up these apps, we open up these links, and we don't read. And then we sit there and cry and whine and say, oh, it didn't work. You mean you didn't see that big ass tutorial button that you just clicked and you thought you knew it all and you just went on about your way and then say, oh, it don't work? Yeah, I'm talking to your ass, and somebody's laughing. Somebody's like, ooh, shit, that's me. And look, I say that because that was my ass. Real talk. So when people talk to me about, oh, I'm not good at technology, oh, that's not me, Tara can tell you I was horrible. If it wasn't a phone call or text message, hell, emails, forget about it. David wasn't doing it. So when I hear people say, I'm not good at technology, I'm not this, that's your patterns. That's your trauma. That's your drama, that first you got to look in the mirror and get over that and start believing in yourself and say, I got this shit. Especially now, it's copy, paste, drag, drop, and read. And it's ABC order. And so really, this is where we encourage you guys. You got to drop that old mentality that our mom gave us, our father gave us. Hell, I was the remote control for my father. His ass would, nope, turn it on the TV. Nope. Turn it on this. Nope. And I captured onto that to when Tara would come to me and look, there's an AI tool that we use. We call it our Magic Jewel app that literally it allows me to post on all of our social media. And it's now taking us down from 60 hours a week to now, 5 to 6 hours a week of posting, and now getting out 5 to 6 posts a day compared to the maybe 1 or 2 that I was getting out a day. And Tara introduced it to me, set it all up for me, which was nice and elegant. And literally one hiccup, one thing happened, my ass reverted back and went back to doing it the old way. And that's what happens, is that we get in these AI tools, something doesn't work, we self-sabotage ourselves, and then we're like, nope, not going to happen. And we go back and we do it the old way. And Tara looked at me and she said, hey, baby, why are you doing that? Why are you continuously walking to work? You're walking to work right now, baby. And I just found you a brand new damn Ferrari and bought you a Ferrari, and your ass is walking out the front door, walking to work when you got this Ferrari. Why aren't you getting in the Ferrari and driving the Ferrari? And when she shared that to me, I was like, ooh, damn, she's right.
Tell them, where you tell them. Look, I would say to avoid trying for perfection. People sometimes hesitate sending a post because they don't think it's perfect. Just send it. Get it done. I mean, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. We don't try. Don't compete. Just complete the task, finish it up, and get on to the next one. You'll notice, like you said, after you read it and after you see it, after you see the engagement, you'll actually get the metrics you need to start to make tiny, small improvements. So I don't know if you guys have mentioned that, but that's sometimes the enemy of a lot of people, is they're scared to start, or they won't post something because they don't feel that it's perfect or whatever. And sometimes they're worried about, well, I didn't get 100 likes or 1,000. I don't care if you get 1 like. That was the one person who needed to hear it, needed to see it, and then the next time you'll get more. But so I mean, if it's not, every post is not going to go viral. So avoid trying to be perfect, and just worry about being persistent. So I mean, it sounds like that's what you guys did. And Tara sounds like that, but you keep pushing them, and when she gets a little discouraged, David, that's your turn to start pushing. So y'all keep each other at it, man. We keep encouraging each other, but I'm sure you like you said, one little hiccup and you went backwards. No, it's not going to work. Just keep going, bro. Keep going. I mean, just if there is no win and lose, there's just winning and learning, right? So let's keep at that. That's what I wanted to share, man. You guys inspire me.
That indeed, brother. And what we share with people is press the button. And something that you shared and that we have with a lot of people that we deal with is that we are afraid and we're fearful of what our friends are going to say, what our family is going to say, what our friends are going to say. And a lot of the times we're building our business based on likes. Stop living your damn life on likes and comments and shares. We have well over 10,000 posts on one of our platforms. We got well over about 4,400 posts, right, that we posted out. I could care less if your ass likes it, comments, or shares it. But guess what? Your ass sees it and you watches it. And a lot of you that are entrepreneurs are definitely going to relate to this story, that when you go out and about, you see your friends, you see your family, and they say, hey, I see you on social media. You're doing a whole bunch. That's awesome of you. And you looking at yourself being like, but your ass ain't liked not one of them. You ain't shared one of them. You ain't commented on one of them. Are you kidding me? But you see my shit? So please believe they are watching. Stop worrying about the loves and the follows and all that other stuff. Just press the button. And so often we live our lives by the likes, and you're self-sabotaging yourself. Because look, I could care less. You see 5,000 to 6,000 commercials a day. McDonald's, Wendy's, Walmart, Target. Why isn't your business one of them? And I can assure you, Hello LLC is one of those damn advertisements that you see on LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, we're there. And that's where you all should really get to the point. Do you think Walmart or Apple or Gucci cares if you like their posts or shares? No, they don't. They know you saw it and they got brand recognition and they're reminding you. Marketing is reminding people what you do, right? Or should I say, yeah, marketing is telling people what you do. Branding is being consistent and continuously showing up. Those of you that are posting once a week, right? Posting, every other week. I was in one room and this lady was talking about social media and helping people. And I went to her Instagram. Like you said, we snoop around. Her ass hadn't posted in 2 months on her social media. I'm like, what? And so this is why you guys got to be careful. Make sure you check out the source before you take people's resources, because a lot of the times people be leading you guys down the wrong path and be telling you to do these things and not understanding the gravity behind it. And that's why I share with you guys all mentality and your mind and your thought processes first. The rest will fall into place, because these buttons you pressing, your ass ain't gonna blow up nobody. It ain't the codes to nuclear bombs. You're not gonna blow up your auntie or your mother-in-law or your father-in-law, although you wish you had a button for that sometimes, but it's not gonna hurt nobody. And then guess what? There's this brand new button that you might not have even heard about that is absolutely amazing. And it is called the damn delete button. It's called the delete
and edit too. That's another one too. You can always edit it.
That part. And guess what? Half of these people ain't even much reading your damn post, okay? They're not even much reading what you write in there, and y'all are so concerned about this grammar, that grammar. Ain't nobody text you or called you and said, hey, your ass spelt this wrong, right? Hey, you didn't abbreviate or put this there, right? Hey, in this live, this, that, and the other. And guess what? If they do that, then your first words needs to be to them, where your ass at? Let's go live together right now. Let's get on camera. Let's do a podcast right now, because there's always people that will criticize you that won't do it. And so please do not self-sabotage yourself and stopping yourself from doing these things and showing up. Press the damn button and just do it, right? And do it until you can't do it no more, and be committed and be consistent to it, and and hold to your word. So, most people want sympathy other than success, right? And let me say that again, loud and proud. Most people want sympathy other than success. Well, I can't get this with my business. I can't do this with my business. I can't do that with my business. I can't do that. You asking for fucking sympathy. Excuse my language. Just do the work and show up and keep being consistent. And I promise you, as they say, you stay around the barbershop long enough, your ass is liable to get a free haircut. My ass hung around there too long because I ain't got no hair right now, right? And so this is where I encourage you guys to really stop allowing your mindset to really screw you. Love, you got anything you want to add to this before we get out of here?
No, at the end of the day, I just appreciate everybody, showing up and sharing the information. This is what we need to be able to provide value to and collaborate with the ideas and the value that come together, And again, like you guys say, it's, I used to suffer, both David and I used to suffer from the perfection bug, and nobody has called us and said, oh my God, you spelled this wrong, and if they did, then David will always ask them, are you pushing the button? No, you're not. So get out there and push the button yourself, and then come talk to me about it. And I think the biggest thing that we all need to take away from this is just show up for yourself and be consistent, because consistency comes before success in the dictionary. So that's all I would add to it. And I greatly appreciate everybody showing up and contributing to this conversation, whether you got up on stage and talked or you just showed up and listened, because that means the world to us. So thank you.
Yeah. And so with that being said, guys, you guys make sure you come and join us tomorrow, same time, same channel, wherever you met us at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Your emotions be on the bottom line, the human side of entrepreneurship. So we're definitely going to be talking about the emotional side of business, especially for those of us that are entrepreneurs. And on Thursday, we have our amazing Hello Pivot broadcast. That's going to be happening at 12 o'clock noon. That normally happens at 6:30, and we have guests that come in and join us. Lance, Tamara, Miss Nancy. That is, if you guys want to be a part of our Hello Pivot, come on down. We can send you a form. You can pick a date, and let's come together, right? And you can join us live in our metaverse world and on all these channels, and we can have a conversation. You can showcase what you do. We can tell people, how we can, collaborate together, and it's really that's what that channel is for. And then on Saturday we have Roberta Pacino, Al Pacino's sister. She has her amazing podcast called Kiss of Fame in our Hello Plaza. That's going to be taking place at 1 o'clock. We're definitely not going to be showcasing that on all the different platforms. We encourage you guys to come and join us into our metaverse, right? And watch that and be a part of that. We're going to have Eddie Skolaski. Hopefully I said his name right. He's a big time actor and film writer and producer. So she's, going to be having a great conversation with him. And so that's going to be called Resilience and Renovation, Eddie Skoloski Journey in Music, Acting, and Film. And so, guys, we're always doing events, which is why we had this conversation with you guys all. If we can do 4 events, a week, aka podcast, aka social audio rooms, then you dang sure can do 1 a week, 1 a month, hell, 1 a quarter. And definitely putting that on your biz in a box that we can create for you to where you can draw attention and people can hear your voice and you can have something to showcase other than just talking about your services, right? Other than just talking about what you do. You now can be multifaceted in all these different areas to have a conversation about that. People then will be like, hold on, what the hell is this biz in a box David and Tara talking about? What the hell is this Hello Pivot membership that they're talking about? What is this Hello Plaza metaverse that I can join in from my cell phone, my laptop, my iPad, and if I have these VR headsets that I keep seeing my kids, on this Fortnite, on this, Roblox, on, Decentraland, and I keep hearing about Web3. What is this they talking about, especially for my business? What is this Hello AI Motion Works, where if I don't like being behind camera, they can create an avatar that can showcase my business, showcase my platform, showcase, everything that I do where I don't have to do it. And I let the AI do the work. And so, that's really where you get to utilize, this type of platform to share about it. And then even more importantly, like you guys have heard multiple times, our clients come up here and they get to share, about their business and how we've been able to help them out. Just like if you guys joined our Hello Pivot, podcast last week, we had, Buttons Up on our broadcast where, they were able to showcase their business in a box and how we elevated their apparel line, and they're about to put their store into the metaverse. Instead of people going to shop on the crusty dusty Amazon or website, people can come into their metaverse storefront and shop and see all their different designs and have a completely different experience that most people won't get, that most people are looking for. And this is why, creating a podcast and social audio room is important. And if you didn't catch what I just did, I just showed your ass exactly why you should be doing your own room. Because now you get to talk about your business and nobody can stop you. Nobody can say, shut up. Nobody can do none of that or tell you talking too long because it's your room. So you get to talk about whatever you want to talk about and show up however you want to show up, right? And so this is why we encourage you guys to stop talking, right, about it, but start talking about doing it and how you're going to do it. And we can help you, we can show you, or we can do it for you. You pick your poison, right? But with that being said, Lance, brother, you got any closing words before we get out of here?
No, man. I just, like I said, I'm just honored to be able to share the stage with you guys, and it sounds like you guys and I are pretty aligned on stuff and helping our clients and having that, I call it the out of business experience. Sometimes you're so busy working in the business, it's hard to take a step back and kind of look over top of your business and have a chance to work on your business. So I'm glad to see that I'm not alone in that fight and helping customers understand how to work on their business and not so much in the business, because sometimes you can get lost in the sauce, so busy doing the day-to-day. And this gives you really a chance to just kind of step back and see your accomplishments, and also see how far you've come, see the things you overcome, and then see the next challenges that may be coming up so that you can prepare for them and, and gear up and be ready for it. So, man, I appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm looking forward to jumping in on some more rooms.
Yeah. And as we say, stop being the janitor of your business and be the president of your business, because there is a difference between the two. You don't be cleaning toilets and all that stuff. No shade to my janitors out there. Love you all. Hey, Lance, while you're a principal, man, I know you got somebody suspended. Man, you need to call one of them students and tell them, hey, you know what? This dude David said, we gonna let you slide. Come on back. Just make sure you don't do what you did again.
I got you, man. Look,
No,
I got you.
you're in trouble.
Hey, look, I tell them I don't believe in detention. I believe in retention. Like we want to. I don't want to detain a student. I want to retain them. I want them to want to be here. The more they want it, the more I want it for them. So yeah, man. So I'll go ahead and I'll give them a pass just for you, man. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
Is that because you were in detention all the time, Mr. Jones?
Well, I was about to share a story, right? So in middle school, I forgot what the situation was. I can't remember what it was, but my mom got called up to the school, and the principal said, Mrs. Jones, about your son should be a lawyer or something, because if he's not wrong, and he has a whole bunch of points, and he's going to share them, and he's going to get them out there. And he didn't suspend me. He didn't suspend me because of that point alone. I'm like, what are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, your son is good. You need to be a lawyer. So at one point, I did want to be a lawyer until I self-sabotaged myself and said that bar exam, all these tests, that's not for me. That's not for me. And so I share that story because it's so funny that we have these conversations with ourselves, and we self-sabotage ourselves on what our patterns, what our history, what our past, and things of that sort. And so that's why we open up, this umbrella to remind you guys it's more than just about business. It's about mind, body, and soul. And you got to make sure all three of those things are in sync, or you will sink at the end of the day, because those things are important. So hopefully somebody got a laugh out of that. But yeah, you guys come back and join us. What you got, Lance?
No, I was just gonna say, man, I got to dip out, but man, look, I like that, man. Look, I was kind of the same way, man. Like I could talk my way in and out of trouble real fast. So the one thing, but like you said, we're living down that hill. But it sounds like you already, instead of a lawyer, you're more of an advocate right now for businesses, and sometimes you're showing them how to speak up for them. You're giving people a voice. So you may not have taken the bar, but it seems like you've raised the bar. I'll just keep it. I'll leave it at that.
Ooh, Lance, boy, I like that. That's good. That boy good. But yes, guys, we shall see you guys tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Come and join us. Conversation, your emotions beyond the bottom line, the human side of entrepreneurship. I'm stalling like no other because it's time for my ass to go hit this run. And so I be trying to be on here talking, but I know I got to go hit this pavement and start running and get this workout in. But you guys, make sure you do something different today. Make sure if your ass hasn't worked out today, you do a jumping jack, you do a sit-up, you do a push-up, you do something that you didn't do yesterday, because your health is your wealth. A lot of you guys don't know this, but we started out in the health and wellness industry and that good old thing, network marketing. And because we were committed, because we were consistent, we built and we pivoted and we changed, and now we're a 3D digital agency. And 8 years ago, if you had said, hey, you be doing this, I would have been like, what? Please get out of here, Felicia, you crazy. Metaverse, I don't know nothing about that. But now this is where we're at. So until next time, guys, love,
kindness,
integrity,
but most importantly,
commitment,
and consistency.
and until next time, toodles.
Toodles.
See you guys later.
Thanks, guys, for being here.